You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose.
I've never heard this lavalier before, and I don't care for it. Whatever it is. Hey, I'm Caleb over at KEJ Productions, and we recently released a video about the new Zoom F2, and in that video I mentioned that I didn't like how large the KIT Lavalier's mic capsule was. We're very particular about maintaining proper mic placement here at KEJ, but discretion is just as important to us. Now, when you're using KIT mics or just more affordable lav mics in general, I've noticed a few things over the years. Sound quality can be hit or miss. They only get so small, and they're typically cheaply made to keep costs down on consumer products like the recorders that we're all buying right now. But we've been using the TM10L, which is the lavalier that comes with the Tascam DR10Ls for the last couple of years, and we like it because it's not too big, and typically it's easy to get natural sounding vocals with only minor EQing. So my initial thought whenever I saw the size of the LMF2, which is the F2's KIT lav, was that I'm probably going to just use the TM10L with the F2. This got me thinking. But then it got me thinking about some of the higher end lavaliers that I've had the opportunity to work with over my professional audio career, like DPA, Countryman, Point Source, Shure. I wondered what those mics would sound like with the F2. So I reached out to some friends to pull together 7 lavaliers that range from KIT lavaliers to super high-end lavs that are being used currently in Hollywood blockbuster level movies. So here are the lavaliers I pulled together. We have the TM10L, the LMF2, the Rode Link lav, the Sennheiser MKE2, we have the Senken COS 11D, and the Countryman B6. And finally, we have the super high-end DPA 4061. The 4061 also comes with an additional capsule that boosts the high frequencies, and we'll be testing that too. So here's how it's gonna go. Jordan has labeled the files lav 1 through 8, so I can't show any bias to any microphone. The name of the lavaliers will be on the screen for you, but again, I'll be listening blindly. A couple of final notes before we jump into this shootout. First, you'll hear a fan in the background due to the fact that we were in a control booth that had computers running. We didn't try to remove any of the fan because we didn't want to mess with any of the EQ of these files. Secondly, since all microphones have different sensitivities, we have adjusted the output volume so that every lavalier is metering at the same output volume. Other than normalizing an isotope RX, there's been no further processing on these audio files. Now let's do this. All right, here we go.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose.
That one sounds a little hunky and a little bit bright on the top end.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose.
That one sounds a little bit more natural. We'll go to lav 3 here.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose.
It's a little low mids.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose.
Yeah, it seems like a little much on the low mids there that I don't really like. I'd probably carve out in the EQ.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose.
This seems like it has the best representation of all the spectrum. I would still have to take out a little bit of the 800, but that's pretty natural in my voice.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes,
I don't like this one at all.
You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
Yeah, I just don't like that lav.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose.
That seems a lot of low mids and mids just up there. Just sounds kind of gross to me.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose.
This seems like it's missing a little bit of the low end of the vocal range for my voice. I'll listen again.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
but it sounds pretty clear.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
8 sounds wonderful. Let me listen to 4 again.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes.
And 4.
You can steer
I like 4 a
yourself
lot
any
too.
direction you choose.
But whenever it comes to...
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
Yeah, I still like 8, I think, the most.
Compare 5 and 6.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
I don't like 6 at all.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes.
It just doesn't sound natural, like in any, like comparatively, it doesn't sound as natural as the voice is supposed to sound. So
Compare 1 and 5.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
I feel like this is the DR10L or the TML, but just because we've listened to it a lot. But
you have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer your...
Yeah, I don't even want to listen to that. It just feels honky to me. Like just ha 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 in your throat. We would have to do so much work to that in post.
Okay, so 2 and 8 are the DPA.
It's the DPA, of course.
The 2 and 8, yeah.
Amazing.
All right, but I want you to tell me which you think the other ones are. One is.
I think one is the DR or the TML, the DR10s.
TM10L.
TM10L, yeah. 2 is that. Let's listen to 3.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
This is going to be the Sanken or the Countryman, I think. It's very clean. I like the way it sounds, but I haven't listened to Countrymans in a long time, and I'm used to them being headset mics, not lavaliers, so it's a clean sounding mic. So I think it's not a kit mic. And 4.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
I'm guessing this is the F2's kit Lav.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
If it didn't have the exaggerated honk of this, I think it would be a higher end mic, but I really can't tell.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
I've never heard this lavalier before, and I don't care for it, whatever it is.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose.
This is not a bad microphone. I just feel like maybe its frequency range is missing a little bit on the low end. Like it's a little bit rolled up. I don't know, but it just seems like it's missing a little bit of the body of the microphone.
Okay, so you want to know which is which?
Tell me.
The first one.
Yes.
That is the Sennheiser Mickey.
MKE2? Oh, okay. I mean, sounds good.
Yeah. 3, you're right, is Countryman.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 is the Roadlink microphone.
Really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
The 2 you hated the most were the Tascam and the F2.
What can I say? I'm bougie.
And number 5 is the TM10L.
Number 5 is.
Yeah. And then 6 is the Zoom F2 kit mic. 6 you said.
I've never heard this lavalier before, and I don't care for it. There you go. You have it.
There you go.
From my mouth.
5, you said it might be okay, but it's too honky.
Yeah, and so I have to take care of it in post.
And then 7 is the Sanken.
Sanken.
Yeah.
And then 8.
So,
Yes, beautiful.
DPA.
So the DPA, the most expensive mic on our list, is the best. And the worst microphone on here, to me, was the Zoom F2. Who would have thought? So with all of these options that we have that are out there, and being able to hear everything that we did hear between these high-end lavs and these kit lavs, it's pretty amazing to me that there was such a sound discrepancy within these. And obviously you see prices on lavaliers and you're like, well, Elaine's never gonna let me buy that, so I might as well get it out of my head. But whenever you listen to that microphone compared to the F2, it's mind-blowing. So this test was amazing to like sit in and listen and like see where I thought one mic was the other, and being able to test all of these things. But the reality is, what do we have in-house to be able to produce the highest quality audio? And that's what I would encourage you is, find all your lavs, get them all together, and if you have an F2, try them out. Or if you're still working on the DR10L, which is a fantastic recorder, try them out on there as well, and find out what you have in-house, so you're not going to spend a whole bunch of money on lavs that you don't necessarily need if you already have it in-house. And whenever you do that, man, let us know how it went. Let us know what mics you tested and what devices you're recording into. We're all in this together. We're a community of filmmakers trying to elevate our films. And so any kind of comments or anything that we can encourage each other in would be super helpful. If you guys enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and we will see you later.